Hey guys, your humble host. So real quick, I'm breaking hiatus to bring you another political video. Yay, it is something that I read online and I gotta say I'm quite irritated and quite flabbergasted with it. It's another article I'm going to read and it has to do with Texas trying to impose a law on masturbation, but it is not a guy doing it, but a woman, Democrat no less. $5 says she's feminist. Let's read. This won't take long. I don't want to spend too long on this crap. A Texas lawmaker is proposing a bill that would fine men $100 every time they masturbate. Can you imagine? A lot of guys would be in debt. Let's read. Texas tries very hard to legislate reproduction, generating a crushing volume of bills aimed at regulating the uterus. Oh, so you mean all those anti-abortion bills and the fact that women are shown the heartbeat of the child before they kill it? You mean those type of bills that they're killing a human life? Yeah, that's kind of important. But what about the other side? If it takes two to tango, as the old saw goes, shouldn't those without uteri be bound by the same measure of genital legalities? No, it shouldn't, or men should not. They do not produce babies. Their bodies are different than ours. They do not kill their young. And I know what you guys are trying to imply with this article, what this woman is doing, which you'll learn her name soon enough. Sperm are not children. Eggs by themselves are not children, but when the two meet, basic biology, so sex ed, it becomes a human person, or is going to be a human person. Forgive the noise, my heater just came on. Okay, one Texas lawmaker, Democratic Rep. Jessica Farrar, thinks so. On Friday, fed up with targeted abortion restrictions, keep that in mind, she is pissed because women have been told no to killing their own young down in Texas, so now she's going to go after men. Oh, men should be treated with the same rules. No, they shouldn't. Different bodies, different reproductive systems. They function differently. God, this is so annoying. Farrar filed House Bill 4260, a bill relating to the regulations of men's health and safety. HB 4260, aka the Men's Right to Know Act, would impose a $100 fine on male masturbation or, as Farrar legislation puts it, emissions outside of a woman's vagina. So, man, you hear that? If you don't go inside of a woman's vagina, $100 fine for you. If not properly stored for future use, ejaculation would qualify as an act against an unborn child, which is total horseshit, and failing to preserve the sanctity of life. The bill reads, men interested in extravaginal emission would be welcome to visit hospitals and private masturbatoriums that would help the special storage requirements. So basically, what this woman's trying to do, because she is so pissy because she has her panties in a bunch, that because how dare someone tell her and our gender no to killing our young, she wants to go after men and try to impose similar laws, if not the same, on men. And it does not work. Different gender, different rules. That is how it goes. That is reality. Unbeknownst to the feminists, or how sad for them, but I'm not even a guy, and this irritates the freaking shit out of me. There are inconsistencies in their GOP lawmakers' argument about the sanctity of life, Farrar said in a phone interview Monday. If this is really about the sanctity of life, semen is a really important piece of that formula, and we can't be wasting it. If that's the case, it should be used for what it was meant to be used for, and that is to create life. So, that begs another question, because I'm sure a lot of you went down that rabbit hole. What about oral? Does this now make oral sex illegal? You cannot get pregnant or by giving a blowjob or swallowing. That does not work that way. And here's a tweet, because I will put the link in this article below, and they have a snapshot of her tweet. A man's right to know mirrors real Texas law on healthcare restrictions faced by Texas women every Texas So meaning that saying, because we women have rules about what we can do with the life inside of us, now we're going to put this on the men because we're so pissy about being told no. That's exactly what it is. Guys, stop it. My cats. Farrar's measure repackages some of the typical reproductive restrictions typically aimed at women and applies them to men. See, like I said, she is pissy because, God forbid, there are restrictions on women killing their children. No. Aimed at women applies them to men. Under HB 4260, men will submit to medically unnecessary. Sound familiar? Alright, if you're referring to the ultrasounds that are given right before the abortion to show you have a human life inside of you that you're about ready to fucking kill. Rectal exams and sonograms for man-seeking, vasectomies, Viagra prescriptions, and colonoscopies, and a 24-hour waiting period between initial inquiry and procedure for prescription. Oh, boo-hoo. So our healthcare, the way that our reproductive healthcare is set up when it comes to birth control, killing our young, which my gender is so pissy about being told no on, and all that wonderful stuff, because there's a certain way to go about it, certain way to do it, you're now trying to go after men. Look, it's not going to work. And I know Texas is smarter than this on some level, so I hope to God this doesn't go through, because, and it's not, it's just a bunch of hot air, but still. Like Texas Senate Bill 25 before it, HB 4260 protects doctors who may feel squeamish providing the care their patients request, allowing urologists to invoke their personal moralistic or religious beliefs and refusing to perform elective vasectomy or prescribe Viagra. Okay, you know what? I'm not a dude, but even I know what Viagra is for. And it's not just for a masturbating tool. It is for men who have erectile dysfunction. It is also used for when, and this is a true story, and I can't remember who told this to me, it is used for when a guy has an accident down there and it needs to be put in place, stented in place, because yes, men do break their penises, and in order for them to be stented, they have to remain hard. So that is another use for it. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but like I said, true story. But it's not just a get up and go pill for men that actually has medical use. As men get older, they lose their testosterone, and it's harder for them to get hard. And then men who suffer from erectile dysfunction, that is what that is used for. That serves as a purpose. It's not just a extra drug or an extra sexual high. That actually has a medical purpose. And no, because I'm going to bring this in here too, because I know this has to do with it. The drug Addyi, which is supposed to be labeled, or is labeled as a female Viagra, does not do the same thing. It cannot operate the same way because of how Viagra operates for men. Women do not operate sexually the same way as men. So trying to replicate that is bullshit. And yes, you do have to be seen and prescribed for Addyi. And also, with Addyi, I have read this drug has problems. Even though it's FDA approved, it has had some major side effects and does not do a damn thing. So, and it's a very dangerous drug. Teal Deer has talked about this drug, and they want to try to make it equivalent. It's supposed to be a female equivalent for Viagra, but you can't. You cannot replicate. Just because men have it does not mean you can replicate it for women. It does not work that way. God, people are so fucking stupid. Leaving no stone unturned in its quest to equalize safety in men and women's healthcare. Fucking bullshit. HB 4260 mandates that information materials on men's reproductive health, entitled A Man's Right to Know, barring from Texas A Woman's Right to Know, an informed consent packet that propagates medically inaccurate misinformation about abortion, be distributed and explained to male patients pre-procedure. Okay, so let's focus in on the inaccurate misinformation part. Abortions, from what I've talked to people who had abortions, they scar your womb. People who have it post-abortion, or whatever that term is, need to go see counsel and get mental, because it leads to depression. It actually can lead to suicidal thoughts because of what you just did. and the fact that there's a sudden loss of hormones and things like that. So the misinformation, no, you are killing a child, plain and simple. I know a lot of people argue, oh, well, kids survive outside the womb. Well, you know what? A lot of things can. It's still, that child is still a child. It is still a human baby that you are killing. Okay. How much does this bullshit have? Good grief. In a Facebook post, abortion rights proponent Farrar described her bill as satirical, but noted that women are not laughing at state-imposed regulations and obstacles that interfere with their ability to legally access safe health care and to subject them to fake science and medically unnecessary procedures. You know, bull fucking shit. Here's where I cannot stand my gender. We have gotten to the point, I'm not saying all of us, but most of our gender women folk, have gotten to the point where we no longer want the responsibility. We want the power, but we don't want the responsibility. And we want what we want, and that's what feminism is. And that's what abortion is. It's not taking responsibility for an act you did. And that is why this is being pushed. And the fact that she even calls it satirical and tries to get this pushed through, lady, it's not going to go through. If anything, it's going to be shot down. I hope to God it's going to be shot down. And yes, there's a lot of angry men because men's bodies do not function the same way as women's. Until you feminists get that through your thick fucking skulls, you're not going to understand a damn thing. The thing I hate about you guys so much is you guys don't appreciate the differences between men and women. Those of us who actually are aware of ourselves and actually right in our heads actually appreciate the differences. The differences can be frustrating, but oh my gosh, do we appreciate them. And they're there for a reason. My husband is my counterpart. He compliments me. He anchors me. He is strong in my weak areas, and I am strong in his weak areas. That's how it works. Let's see. Also not laughing, Farrar's anti-abortion male colleagues. Rep. Tony Tinderholt, who once proposed a bill that would have criminalized abortion for patients and their doctors, told the Texas Tribune that he was embarrassed for Representative Farrar. Yeah, no, she is throwing a bitch fit. This is what this is. Oh, someone told me no, I can't do what I want my body, and I can't take, I don't want to be forced to take responsibility for what I do with my body, and so I'm going to try to go after men. Her attempt to compare HB 4260 to the abortion issue shows a lack of basic understanding of human biology. Thank you, Tinderholt said. I would recommend that she consider taking a high school biology class from a local public or charter school before filling another bill on the matter. Holy shit, if that's not a burn, I don't know what is. That is freaking funny. That same compliment has often been leveled against male lawmakers who attempt to legislate women's bodies. No. Lawmakers make it harder for women to kill their young, and I agree it should be the hardest fucking thing on the planet. To highlight the junk science nature of so many reproductive regulations, female lawmakers have occasionally proposed bills like HB 4260. And this is why a lot of you idiots aren't in power. This is why a lot of you women aren't in power because of this bullshit. You try to make satirical laws going, oh, well, we should push the same crap on men that women have to deal with. No, you can't do that. Just like men cannot push the same crap that they have to deal with onto us. Granted, they don't do so. I don't see them trying to do so. But yeah, this is why a lot of you guys are laughed straight out of the power chair because it's like, oh, hell no, get the hell out of here. In 2012, Ohio Senator Nina Turner proposed a bill that drew its wording directly from a version of the state's frequently proposed heartbeat bill and would have required men to undergo psychological counseling in order to obtain Viagra prescriptions. Oklahoma Senator Constance Johnson proposed a spilled semen amendment to the personhood bill introduced in her state. Oh my gosh, this is women throwing shit fits. Virginia Senator Janet Howell once introduced a man-specific rectal exam amendment to the anti-abortion ultrasound bill. Okay, biology 101. Again, men do not produce babies. They don't have to go the same things that women do. You could not impose the same physical stuff for women on, you cannot put that onto men. It does not work that way. Men and women are not equal in everything. Yes, we women have to go through a little bit more when it comes to birthing children. This is normal. Stop trying to make it equal. It's never going to be equal on that level. Yes, it is wrong to kill your young. Yes, there are many states that try to make this the most difficult thing in the world, and I agree, it should be fucking human impossible. But we're not there yet, and I don't think we ever will be. But that's just me. Farr came up with her Men's Right to Know Act when the Texas bill that would force hospitals to bury or cremate the fetal remains and was blocked by a federal judge in mid-December, found its way back to the State Affair Committee agenda. So I guess she's trying to pull this shit once already, and the judge went, no. And she's trying to do it again. At that point, Farrar said she asked herself, how much is too much? Why is it every season that we have to come back and do something that chips away at women's reproductive health care? You know what? Go fuck yourself. Farrar said a woman spends half her life either trying to get pregnant or trying not to get pregnant. Reproductive health care is at the core of women's health, and that's what Republican men keep messing with. Okay, no, and no. Men are getting tired of picking up the fucking bill for women's lack of responsibility. And that's exactly what it is. From the fucking divorce courts, to the child support, to the children they don't know two shits about. No, men have had it. Men want a say with the children, and that is fair. That is normal whether you guys like it or not. And this shit really pisses me off. You guys try so hard to demonize men, you feminists, and try to take away the rights of the father so fucking much, and then turn around and bitch and moan when the men will not be there for you. God, I wonder why. Ugh. She's hoping HB 4260 will prompt her colleagues to more closely examine their own actions. Failing that, she said maybe the people who vote for them will, and they will make a change in who they vote for. No, if anything, you're gonna get laughed right out of the power chair. Lady, if you don't remember where the hell you are in the Bible Belt in Texas down there, dude. Yes, it's gotten a bit more progressive, but if anything, you're probably not gonna have your power chair for much longer. You guys keep trying to attack men over stuff that has nothing to do with them. Women's reproductive health care, that does not include abortions. I've been through this in a couple of my videos. Once again, women's reproductive health care has to do with prenatal care. Getting her body examined to see if she can get pregnant while she's pregnant, having access to doctors, handmaids, or what do you call those, specific nurses, if she needs to take medication, if something happens, and then after the child is born, which is prenatal, pediatrician, any postmortem depression, she may feel medication for that. So that is reproductive health care, having fair access to birth control, contraceptives. That is reproductive health care, having the information she needs about her body when it comes to periods, preventing pregnancy, getting off of birth control. So no, that is reproductive health care, not abortions, not killing your young. I don't agree with abortions on any sort of level. Now, I do know that there can be very, maybe 1 to 2 exceptions, but even then, I'm very strict about my views when it comes to abortion, if people have not been able to tell. Anyway, I have gone on about this long enough. This was just something that really pissed me off, because it's just like, feminists wonder why they can't find men to settle down with. It's because each and every time they get told no to something that is rational to tell them no on, they go after men, they attack men, they demonize men, they try to put the same stupid shit on men that is on them, which in reality does not work and is not realistic. This is why I don't make friends with my gender, and this is why I cannot keep friends with my gender. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. It was Barbara.